Sick.
Oh! Ooh! Man, this is what I love about this side of North Carolina. We're in Mooresville, probably one of my top 5 favorite cities in the state of North Carolina. Because this is Race City, USA. Mooresville is to NASCAR what Indianapolis is to the NHRA. However, because this is, you know, one of the leading places for pushrod engine development, I mean, I guess that's how you would put that. I guess that's, whatever. There's a trickle-down effect is what I'm saying here, meaning that it's not all a bunch of circle track stuff. There are race shops everywhere, but there's only one race shop that we're concerned about today, and that is Customs by Bigun. We're heading to Eric Yost. The day has finally come, and 2 days after my birthday, kILLface is coming home. Oh, I can't wait. To say I am an excite would be a gross understatement. We are 10 minutes away, and I get to see kILLface for the first time on the ground in its new stance and its big boy pants. Let's go! Dude. Holy shit.
Alright.
What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
You guys may recognize this beautiful face right here. Oh my god. This is mine? This thing is sick. Like, I don't know if you can see this on camera, it's like working in a fucking barbecue shop in here, Eric. What's up? I've heard about your world-renowned pork butts. I didn't think I was gonna become one. Okay, here we go. How do I look? Do I look cool? Tell you what, I feel fucking cool. Look at it, this is the new office. Give you guys a tour. Here's my fancy steering wheel. So what we're doing, and you can see, like, dude, I am 6'5", and I am so much work right there in here. All this is adjustable, so. Man, it's been a minute since I put this on. So what we're prepping for right now, the reason I'm suited up, obviously we'll know where to go, is TJ and Bigun are in here prepping to do the pour-in for my seat. So you want to have basically everything that you're going to be wearing when it's race ready that would affect the seat placement. So Hans device, helmet, fire suit, all on. You take part A and B, mix this together, and it's essentially it's almost like expanding foam. You ever see like people do like spray in insulation, except for it basically is gonna wrap all the way around me like a big cannoli, essentially. I don't know where we left off. The battery died on the GoPro, but there. Now we have Mr. Bailey's over here helping too. He's just observing, doing a good job supervising there, sir.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to keep talking right now because I don't want the music in the background to end up as a copyright infringement on here. But what you're listening to in the background would be the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and TJ is about to sing it for us. So, as I said, I'm going to get inside of this thing. This big garbage bag is going to get filled with the expanding foam, which will expand all around me. Thank God I'm at my fattest that I've ever been, so we know that as long as I lose weight, I will still fit in the car. But essentially,
later we can't take it away.
What's going to happen is this will all expand out, and then this mold will get sent off and wrapped in a fire retardant material. And what you end up with is basically a seat that fits where I essentially snap into it like a Lego. And this is, I don't know, like on par? Would you say it's on par or better than a containment seat in your opinion?
Yes.
As good, if not better? Better. So that's why we went with this. A lot of people are out there doing the full containment seats. As far as head protection, like we were talking about in previous videos, we are going to put padding on here because again, I will be street driving this. Even if I'm not street driving this, we're still going to maintain the padding on here to make sure that that does not come in contact with these, which is kind of inevitable, but just not too hard. So here we go.
It's got a quick release on there. I guess we could have taken a quick release off there.
What is that? I specifically said orange. Yeah, this is the part where I'm gonna put this down. It's really interesting. Just imagine he's basically making cake batter, and I'm gonna set this down so I'm ready. Yeah.
Alright, sound back.
Me?
You ready for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on back.
Back forward a little bit. Come out this little hole.
Oh shit! It's like pooping my pants without pooping my pants. It feels like I'm shitting my pants. It feels like someone's shitting in my pants.
Somebody else is doing it for you. I got a little coming out of the shoulder, but not a lot on the back shoulder.
All right, Rob, we'll be back.
Yeah, all right, and after 30 minutes of baking,
Oh, we're out of the oven?
There's a ride.
that's what I look like. Well, except for the tumor over here on this side. So now from here, this goes up, gets trimmed, wrapped, and then it'll be permanently affixed into there.
Drop right in.
Yeah. There you have it. kILLface's time here at Bigun's has come to an end. We just finished up putting in the big weight box. We can put about 200 pounds worth between the box and the lead. We can make it weigh about 200 more pounds in the back here, and the box is completely removable. Pull 4 bolts, and you can shed all that weight in the event we don't need it. But yeah, we have a long trip home, so we're gonna load it up. I'm not sure how many times we've done the take, but keep getting interrupted because what? People, they see this and they're like, I gotta come by and see what the hell Rye's crazy ass is up to. Obviously, we're not at Bigun's anymore. We had a lot to do at Bigun's, so I didn't film a whole bunch. So today, it's Thanksgiving Day, and we're actually going to Disney tomorrow. So we're not doing a full turkey because we don't want to have to take care of leftovers. But we're not here to talk about leftovers. We're here to talk about what's left over for me to do on kILLface. See what I did there? That's good. So Logan decided to drop a video today about his, I don't know, whatever shitbox he's working on, and try to steal my shine and post pictures and do this really sweet rye impression that makes you sound like Sylvester Stallone. I'll do an impression of Logan, but I don't have 14 hot dogs to try and fit in my mouth while I talk. But here we go. From back to front, which is the same way that Logan raps. It's the same way that Logan wipes his butt. What are we talking about? Race cars. 25.3 chassis, courtesy of More Race Chassis Fabrication, installed by Customs by Bigun, aka Eric Yost and the boys. So looking at the back half structure here, this is what we're dealing with. We have Tin Soliders, low prep / small tire radial brackets on here. So this uses a slightly shorter upper control arm on the 4-link to kind of mimic like a stock style Mustang suspension. What this does is it gives you different anti-squat angles and helps with the separation when you see these radial cars, like, you know, bulldogging going down the track. Not the way it's sitting right now. Right now we're all tooted up because there's no weight in the front. But we also have Tin Solider's wishbone underneath here. They're billet shock mounts. We have a Tin Solider's anti-roll bar, which I think is a collaboration between them and Hammer Fabrications. I apologize if I don't know the actual name of your business. I just know you as Hammer B Ham on Facebook. The rear end here, now this is different from what was in here before. Before, we had a full Curry 9-inch in here. That housing we figured out was going to need so much modification in order to narrow it enough to do what we were trying to do, that it just was not cost effective or very smart. So what you're looking at is a former NASCAR rear axle. So this is a 9-inch, out of no joke, a NASCAR. And if you know anything about NASCAR and the tips and tricks and, you know, subtle nuances that they do, they actually incorporate toe in the rear end, meaning they kick the tires in to help the cars turn left. And the way they do that is they actually will bend an axle tube a certain amount of degrees, and then the axle shaft itself actually, instead of just having straight splines, it has like a ball on the end of it. Well, in NASCAR, everything has a shelf life. Even if it's not broken, they will still just take it out and replace it. And you can buy that stuff relatively cheap. And being that Bigun and the boys are located in Mooresville, North Carolina, which is the home of most NASCAR teams, well, for them, they have a plethora of assets at their disposal. All that to say, we have a NASCAR housing with the Tin Solider's 4-link brackets on it. It is filled with 40 spline gun-drilled axles with profiled flanges to take even more weight out. We have the TBM brakes holding in the axle shafts, and bolted securely to them are my, oh, I'm so stoked on these, 15 by 12 with a 3.5-inch backspace billet specialty street light with MacFab's 24-bolt fast eddies. Would you just look at it? So shout out to MacFab, Lyle Barnett, and everybody over there for helping us out with this. Further things going on, this box right here, it may look a little bit out of place in a world full of jungle gym tubing, but this is actually a weight box. We can fill this with lead and it will weigh up to 200 pounds, maybe a little bit more, but you can drop it if you don't need this weight back here. So if we want to do a no prep event or something like that, we can put as much weight as we need to in the back, or if we need to make a minimum weight or something like that, we can add weight to the back of the car. If we don't need it, we can pull 4 bolts and this whole box comes off and we don't have to be punished by carrying the weight. Inside of the car is a whole lot of gang shit going on. Obviously the funny car cage, and a lot of people look at this and they think like this looks a lot like every other car with a funny car cage. And it's funny to me, no pun, full pun intended, that they call it a funny car cage, because I would bet there are more cars out there with this type of cage than there are funny cars with this type of cage and hoop. But when you get into the 25.5, 25.2, 25.3, 25.1, that's when you start seeing these funny car cages. And a lot of people will think, they'll just judge the book by its cover and take a quick glance and go, oh, it's got a funny car cage, it's 25.5, certified to 750. But the reality of it is there's a lot of different certifications that go on. They're not all created equal. What you don't see right now inside of the car is everything that I've spliced it in right here. So you can see all of the structure that's underneath all of this sheet metal in here. There's a lot going on. in addition to the roof bracing and these gussets, that's what makes this more than just your standard 25.5 mild steel 750 cert cage. This cage will certify to 6.0 in the quarter mile with a 25.2 designation, as long as it weighs less than 3,200 pounds. If it weighs more than 3,200 pounds up to 3,600 pounds, well, then you can get into a 25.3, which is what all these extra bars are in the back, and that will get you to 650. Now, I don't have the financial backing to run bottom sixes unless I hit like the Powerball someday. So this should be the last chassis that I ever need for this car. I'll tell you right now, this is the last time I'm building this car to this extent. If anything else, something faster comes along, well, kILLface, you will be retired. We did the steering column, which you guys saw. What we're gonna end up doing here is do a 6-inch extension on this piece right here, so that when I take the steering wheel off, it will literally terminate right here, and I get all the room in the world to get my big ass out of the car. I'm 6'5", 250 pounds, so I need all the room that I can get. And when you're geared up with a, you know, big thick layer of fire suit on, a Hans device, your movement's really restricted. The last thing you want is stuff snagging on your clothing. You want to be able to get in and out of the car. Egress is very, very important. Other things, you might have noticed it inside the car, this gigantic transmission tunnel. Let me just show you something. Just if you don't have anything to compare this to, let me help you. This is a stock transmission tunnel. Obviously, this car is a 25.2 chassis. This is a double frame rail deal. Mine is not double frame rail, just because we figured we didn't really need it. But you can see how much room you don't have. Like basically, this trans tunnel in here would swallow up the double frame rail setup on the thing. Up front, there's some bars coming all the way through here. They cut out the factory sheet metal and capped it off beautifully inside of here. I don't have the fenders off, so I can't really show you. But the tubular front end, that tube runs all the way through that and down to here. And again, another weight box up front to securely secure the weight to the car so it doesn't go flying into the stands, and also a way to conceal the amount of weight that you're carrying down the track. So what's next on the agenda? Well, you can see the steering column is not attached to the steering shaft. And the reason being is we don't have the mid plate or the motor plate mounts on here. That's what we call foreshadowing, because, well, we don't know where the new motor and transmission combination are going to fit, which means, is Rye not running an LS this go around? But I want to get this thing tabbed out and everything that we need. So we're gonna do the tabs for the motor mounts, the motor plate and the mid plate up front, and then inside of here, or we're gonna have to, once the motor's in here, we can figure out the steering column. But this K-member is gonna go away. I'm actually gonna be switching to what some people often refer to as an outlaw style, and this is what's on this car. This is from Team Z, I believe. So you can see this K-member, it wraps around the front of the oil pan on this car, and it has what some people refer to as a stiletto rack. Now the downside of this stiletto rack is that that is full left lock turn. You don't get a whole bunch of steering radius out of it, and also because it's got this funky angle, it can kind of do some wild shit with regards to handling. It's not the stoutest. Racecraft makes a outlaw style K-member that has a pinto rack that puts the rack behind that forward bar, and I'm hoping that will fit. And the reason we need that to all, basically, we need all of this clearance right here. So this is all gonna get pushed forward, so we have oil pan clearance underneath the motor, and we have the ability to drop the motor or drop the oil pan out of it without actually pulling the whole front suspension off. Because the way this is set up right now, if I put an LS in here and I have to drop the oil pan, well, then everything has to come out from underneath the motor. With that car, you can just drop the oil pan. So that's what we're going with. That does two things: ease of maintenance, a little bit more clearance for motor fitment. And then the other thing too is, obviously the car is going to sit substantially lower when we put a whole bunch of weight in the front, but there's going to be some interference issues between the front fenders and the front tires. So I'm going to end up putting Fox body control arms on here, which are 3/4 of an inch narrower per side. So that will pull the tire and wheel combination underneath the car a little bit more and get this out of the way. That will give me clearance for steering, and also give me clearance in the event that the car, you know, 12 o'clock and points the nose at the sky. And if it comes slamming down too hard, well, then I don't shove the tires and everything into the fenders and destroy all the bodywork. I'll just destroy oil pans and other more expensive parts. And then other things, I have to get a new, the Willwood box right there is the brake pedal assembly. It's a dual master cylinder assembly, but I ordered the wrong one, so I have to send that back. But Bigun had an extra, so he made this bracket and then the throttle pedal as well. With my seating position in here, again, I'm 6'5". With me seated in here, I can barely reach the brake pedal in its current configuration. But thankfully, everything's adjustable. And then we're waiting for all this goo that you see here. If you guys saw, this is the carbon pour-in, or not, I keep saying carbon. This is the pour-in seat material. We dropped the seat off to have it modified and cleaned up a little bit and then recovered in the fabric. And that will be coming in the mail from Bigun here shortly. So whole lot of stuff to do on the car. I am over the top excited to get working on this. So tremendous thank you to Eric Yost and Customs by Bigun for everything they've done. MacFab, Beadlocks, shout out to Lyle Barnett and the boys over there, and everybody else that's helped me out on the car. I mean, clapped out, Brian Tooley Racing, K1 Race Gear, Curry, Holly, all of them. I don't have a sticker up back window to read off of anymore, but I think I hit most of the wickets with that. So anyway, it's Thanksgiving and I got steaks to go make. We're going to Disney, so we don't want to babysit. I already said this. All right, you know what? Here's a witty outro of a terrible voicemail that Logan left. All right, peace.
Hey, Rye. Logan. You know, I was watching the moon and how it just kind of sits in the sky in a dark night. But the sun doesn't give light to the moon, just assuming the moon's going to owe it one. It makes me honestly think of how you act to me. You do favors, then rapidly you just turn around and start asking me about things you want back from me, you know? Like, I'm sick of the tension. I'm sick of the hunger. Sick of you acting like I owe you this. Find another place to feed your greed, bro, while I find a place to rest. And if you're wondering, no, that's not a Linkin Park lyric. That's from the heart. A Lincoln Heart. Not Abe Lincoln. Logan Lincoln. Which is a great porn name should I ever venture into strictly solo male acting with lots of baby oils. This voicemail's so long, but I really haven't anyone to talk to, so just me and my thoughts. Okay, bye. I didn't hang up, you idiot, you stupid moron. Okay, now I'm hanging up.